Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there, Sebastian Indy, strong style. It's a file, one half the reigning defending MPX Tag Team Champion, so Black Widow. Let's geek about it for a scant few minutes, because it just came out. It's going to be a spoiler-free kind of recap. I did the Disney Premier Access thing at home. I didn't really feel like going out to the theater, and I can enjoy it in the comfort of my own home, so that's what I did. Now, I was definitely a person who's been in the camp for years about how we don't need a solo Black Widow movie because we've seen enough of her past sprinkled into the other MCU movies where we can get the gist of what she's been through. I mean, she's a spy who defected, so we've seen enough spy movies with defections and double crosses and that sort of thing, so it's like we kind of know the basic beats of what they do. After seeing this movie, I'm a little bit more in the camp of, oh yeah, this was a good movie. It had some really good things in it. The issue with prequels is there's no real peril for the main character because it's a prequel. It talks about what happened in the past. You see them in the present, so you know they're going to survive. So the key is to sprinkle in other characters that you grow to care about. And of course, you have a short time to make an emotional attachment to those characters and their relation to the main character. So when the main character goes through whatever crucible in this movie that they're going to survive, it's what happens and their interactions with the other characters that orbit around them that kind of make it, at least to me. So enter Yelena, Red Guardian, and Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova, the surrogate family that Natasha has in this movie. Yelena's okay. It's kind of obvious what happens to her through the course of this movie. Red Guardian, David Harbour playing him was great as this guy who's just so desperate to hang on to his glory days as the Red Guardian, if there were any. I mean, because we don't know if he's lying or not. Just kind of how he makes some of these situations about him at first, and then kind of see underneath it all, he kind of cares about this fake family that he had. Family and the idea of it is a strong part of this movie. But Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova, this is her movie. Other people happen to be in the movie, but this is Florence Pugh's movie. She is fantastic as Yelena Belova. Just fantastic. I could sit here and gush for like 10 minutes about her. She's amazing in the movie. She handles the quippy stuff. This is a Marvel movie. There's going to be some quips. I know some people don't like that, but get over it. There's going to be some quips. Some of them land. Some of them are kind of like, but I mean, it's a Marvel movie. Like I said, some of them land, some of them don't. She handles the action stuff great, the emotional gut punch type of stuff, because she's really, I know this is dealing with Natasha and her past and her emotional reaction to it and stuff like that, but some of the more emotional gut punch stuff and reactions to it, the visceral just reactions to it, are handled by Florence Pugh as Yelena, and she is great in this. Oh, she's so good. So good. This is her movie, I think. Other people happen to be in the movie, but this is Yelena Belova's movie, and I'm here for it. I am eager to see her path going forward in the MCU, because there is an end credit scene. It happens all the way at the end of the credits. I hate when they do that. I like the mid-credit scene. I don't like sitting through all of the credits to get to the end. Of course, I saw it at home. I just fast forward, which I did. But we know she's going to appear in Hawkeye next. That was, not a spoiler. We know that if you follow the making of that spin-off series for Disney+. But we kind of see why she's going to be in it, what's going to drive her in it. Really looking forward to that, and just, like I said, kind of how she carves her path going forward in the MCU as the new Widow. Presumably, this is, Natasha, Scarlett Johansson's final bow as, Black Widow. So we have a new Black Widow going forward. I can't wait to see what she gets into. Taskmaster, we know he's in it. There's some kind of scuttlebutt about what people thought, theories and stuff about the reveal of the Taskmaster. Some of that is kind of, if you paid attention to any of that, some of that comes to play in this. I don't like what they did with the Taskmaster, because we know his powers, he can mimic anybody that he sees. In this, it was more of a tech-based thing. Like with the visor, there's heads-up display, it's tech is like feeding him information and stuff like that. So I like that aspect of the Taskmaster. Like him early on, first half of the movie. Fight he has with the Red Guardian, because we've seen it in the trailer, so not a spoiler. That was cool, but largely what happens to Taskmaster is disappointing. The action in this movie, it was kind of weird, because it seemed like the the first part of the movie picks up with this childhood stuff. We see Natasha and Yelena as kids. We see them snatched up, put in the program that's going to make them into assassins. That's not a spoiler. We know that's what happens. We see her encounter Secretary of State Ross, I think he is at this point, outwit him, and then it kind of really picks up and with the action. And the action in the beginning of the movie is, I think, better than the action at the end of the movie. It's a little bit more exciting, and I saw some complaints where people were saying the action looks like a video game. I mean, it's an MCU movie. What do you expect at this point? Like, I think it works. Saw Stephen Dorff made some stupid comments about people's film choices and just basically not minding his business. But you don't have to listen to idiots like that. It was good, but like I said, just the action in the beginning was just better to me in the first half of the movie than the latter half. There were a lot of set pieces in the latter half where the explosions and all that kind of stuff. But I just think it was just better. I was more invested in it in the beginning than the first half, than the second half. Not saying it was bad, because it wasn't, but it was just better in the first half. So yeah, the overall plot and some of the things, one of these mechanics that they used as to the main villain and the difficulty that the characters have in dealing with him was kind of corny as can be. That was kind of like one of those where I was like, oh, that's not smart. Cheesy as all get out. And some of the stuff with the widows towards the end is just, oh god, it's cheesy. It's just corny. But, it is what it is. It's an MCU movie. You take the good with the bad. You take the quips with the great action. You take the really emotional, cool stuff with the cheese. I mean, it's just, you put it all in a blender. That's an MCU movie. It's what we get to this point. It's been 10 years of this kind of stuff, this MCU formula. Some people like to poo-poo it. I think it works. It's fine. It's a good movie. I'm in the camp that, while like I said, I thought we didn't need another Black Widow movie, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with a sequel following Yelena. Like, I'm done. Like, Natasha's done. She's dead. Let's get more Yelena. And we are. And I'm definitely looking forward to every bit of that. So those are my thoughts on it, scattered as they often are. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Follow me on social media. You're going to see Black Widow. Have you seen Black Widow? Yeah. Let's chat about it. You should definitely see it if you haven't. I mean, it's an MCU movie. You've seen all of them to this point, good and bad. And, in between, you might as well see this one. But see it for, if nothing else, see it for Florence Pugh as Yelena Belovic. She is phenomenal. Anyway, so next time, let us geek.